Not since Raz kept making the noise.
So we ended last session on a cliffhanger where McDohl's character Edmont bumbled into a gelatinous cube, and McDohl's not able to play this week, so we're just gonna start with Victor in the cube instead. That's what we decided.
God damn
Victor
it,
managed
Victor.
to he managed to save McDohl, and then McDohl shadow stepped out of the dungeon.
I mean, whatever gets you to sleep at night, you're still in the cube. I guess is the point. That's just how I roll. This is something you guys can take to RPG horror stories at a later date. My DM started me inside the cube for no reason. Yeah, I've got all my books situated here, and
I feel like the Reddit thread is going to be how often do you have to start in the cube at your table? I just pretend like everything. Like that's my favorite. My favorite's the ones where they pretend like it's completely normal.
wait,
Like
I've
yeah,
been playing...
on our party, like you start in the cube about once every 2 or 3 sessions. What about your party?
I've been playing D&D for 20 years. You're telling me I don't have to start in the cube?
Right. Yeah, exactly. See, I love those threads. Those are my favorite. Going back to EN Worlds, the best troll in the history of that site was the guy who just completely straight-faced said, "So how much do you charge your players?" Just played that completely straight for an entire thread.
I mean, professional DMing where you get paid is a thing now.
Yeah, this was in 1998. It was contentious.
I wouldn't want to charge... I don't think I would have any fun running a game where I'm charging my players. I think I would feel too obligated to...
Right, yeah.
Like,
you do is
kowtow is the wrong word, but... Like, I'm not obligated to do anything for any of you.
I'm paying $50 a week. Where's my +5 sword?
Exactly.
I think my favorite was he would like he kept that up. Like he never broke. What is it? Kayfabe? Is that the wrestler
Kayfabe.
people say? Kayfabe. He was like if he would talk about like bad character builds, he's like, I mean, I don't really care. It's his money.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was so good. He kept that up for like 4 years.
Maybe it wasn't an act.
I'm like 95% sure, but there is that 5%.
I'm of such the opinion, because there's another D&D subreddit I read a lot called DM's Guild, or not DM's Guild, DM Academy, which is for new DMs to go to and get advice and ask questions and things. I find it very illuminating to read that. A lot of new people coming into the hobby and learning lessons that I learned years ago, and also like teaching me things that I hadn't considered. Like, it's really a useful resource. But so many DMs are like bending over backwards for their players, and I just want to sit them down and be like, you're on the other side of supply and demand now. Run whatever you want to run, and don't change for anybody, because you will find people to sit at the table. It wasn't like that in the 90s. Whippersnappers.
I feel like
don't
it's
know how good
always
they
been
got.
like that. It's always been a DM's market.
Much more so now than then, I think.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that. But
I think that comes from people are used to there not being enough players.
just very small groups in general. Yeah, see that.
Well, you used to have, running D&D, you used to have to run for like the 5 people you knew.
Yeah.
Right? Now all these people are running online. They have a billion potential players. Like, there's no reason to compromise your game for a disgruntled player. Just replace them with a happy player.
I mean, big actual play shows have done that. And they just literally just never acknowledge that they have done that. And the people that watch that show are like, what happened? What's going on? It's like, dude, just chill out. Standing.
Yeah, D&D, you're allowed to do things like that. Like, just not acknowledge something. Like when you end one session with one character in the cube and start the next session with a totally different character in the cube.
It's fine. He was always in the cube.
And then we just don't acknowledge it. Like, it's just what happened.
Schrodinger's PC.
Schrodinger's cube, yeah.
All the PCs are simultaneously in and out of a cube until the DM says so. Until the DM confirms.
We roll initiative and the waveform collapses.
Well, let's
We
go
know
ahead and
this
collapse the
room isn't-
waveform now and roll some initiative.
Oh, I'm really good at rolling. This is gonna go great.
Alright, so I need 2 for Orson, because he gets advantage. Alright, so
Good
this is... Alright. I'm on 10. Orson is on... $17.
So coming out of this, the room with the pulpit and the archway, room number 2, coming into this ziggity-zag hallway, which is reminiscent of an old-school Zelda loading zone, now that I look at it, having played some Majora's Mask
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
For some reason, Victor went down the hallway first and bumbled into a cube.
God damn it, Victor.
I was checking for traps, guys. I found one.
You found, you found a cube. Technically, it's not a trap.
God, every day like this with him.
Which means it would not show up.
That's right.
with
If
the
you
spell
cast
Find Traps.
find traps, it would not find a gelatinous cube. Who's first on initiative?
Worse than save me.
Here, so were you in initiative? Okay, so first up we got Orson with Victor at on deck.
So you can't see anything in the hallway. Just Victor is just hanging in midair, a foot or so off the ground.
Is the cube soundproof? Like, was Victor able to yelp when he got sucked up?
It's like being submerged in jello. So I imagine all sounds in and out are very muted.
Orson is going to take a tentative poke with his spear.
Okay.
Because again, it's invisible, more or less, right?
More or
so he's just
less.
like, yeah, he's just testing the air. So he's going to like strike to the side of Victor.
Yeah. Rolled hit.
All right. 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
Yep. That is 7 points of magic piercing damage.
Okay.
And does he feel anything? Like,
Yeah, he feels like he's slicing through a cube made out of jello with his spear.
okay. So, well, in that case, he's gonna go really. He's gonna go and then just. That's a crit.
Mm-hmm.
For 11 piercing damage. This is all magical. And then the butt.
And then the butt.
That's a 15 to hit.
15 will hit.
Gelatinous cubes are big and
Or-
slow. I don't imagine they're hard to hit.
9 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. And Orson moving or staying put?
5, 10, 15, 20. He is going to step out of the threat range and move here.
Okay. Cube is going to use its reaction. Cubes get reactions. That's weird. I have a 14 to hit.
No.
All right.
And that's all of Orson's movement to get here.
Who's next?
As Orson leaves, he's gonna say Victor's stuck in something.
Victor with Evie on deck.
Victor, you are stuck in a cube.
I am stuck in a cube.
So you are restrained and suffocating, but you're not blind because the cube is functionally invisible.
So this isn't even as bad as what Evie was putting up with all last session.
What does it take to get out of the cube?
You can make a strength athletics check.
Strength athletics?
Yes.
You can do it, Victor.
You're restrained but not grappled, so you can't escape with acrobatics, which I know would be
Didn't we
better.
literally last session say that never happens? I guess we were wrong.
I can't sneak it. Can I sneak attack the cube?
Ekon's
You
standing next
can't
to it.
because you have disadvantage on any attack roll you might make. You're restrained.
Because you're restrained. Yep.
Then I guess we're gonna fucking try and roll. Athletics is a skill check. I can use a psionic die on a skill check, right?
Yeah, you sure can.
Yeah, it's even better than that. There's no such thing as a skill check, just an ability check that a skill might apply to. So psionic die work on ability checks.
Well, that's a big fat 9.
And it's difficult because your instinct is telling you should just be able to swim to the surface. It feels like you're maybe submerged in some amount of liquid, but movement is hampered by the more condensed, semi-solid form of the cube. And after you spend a few moments flailing uselessly, you are still stuck.
It's doing the breaststroke in the middle of this gelatinous cube and getting nowhere.
Waiter, what is this adventurer doing in my cube? Is that it for Victor?
Well, I guess that was my action. My bonus action is going to be to mumble into the void for help.
You can do that for free. That's fine. That's not a bonus action.
Yeah, I'll be saving my reaction for uncanny. Can I uncanny dodge inside of this thing?
Yeah, if something has an attack roll against you.
Okay.
Uncanny dodge is against an attack roll, isn't it? Or is
Yes. Yeah.
And then evasion is against saving throws.
Yes.
Neither of those things is going to apply next time the cube damages you, though. Who's next?
It's
Uh,
not an
is that
attack
the end of
roll. It's just
Victor's
an
turn.
attack.
So we've got after Victor is Evie with Ekon on deck.
Can I see and attack the cube from where I'm standing?
Probably not, because you've got this doorway here, and Ekon is standing in the doorway.
Alright, well, it already used its reaction, so 5, 10, 15... Evie says, God damn it, Victor. And then she tries to attack the cube.
Okay.
She gets a really high number.
How high?
That's a 27.
27 will hit.
Mm-hmm. Has it been less than an hour since we since our last fight? Would my Hunter's Mark
Yes.
still be available?
Yeah, it's about 20
Well,
minutes.
I didn't say I added it. So
It's been about 30 minutes or so, because you guys spent some
Oh,
time
30,
going
okay.
through each of these cells individually
Right.
after taking care of the boneless.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I feel like we spent like one ritual break too. So.
Okay, so Evie does 12 points of damage
Okay.
with a magical piercing dagger. And then 5, 10, 15. Because I don't need to disengage because it already used its reaction.
Correct.
And I'm actually going to bonus action to, let's see, who could I give advantage? I could guess I'll give it to, it won't help Victor that much. But I will give it to, actually, you know what? Evie
take
has
it.
already been engulfed, so she's going to bonus action and move here.
Well, you don't think I don't got more cubes out that way?
Well, I mean, we'll find out, I guess. This is how they're going to make their appearance.
All right, who's
Evie
next?
thinks she's smart, but isn't.
Ekon with Eugenia on deck. So Ekon will go ahead and cast Sacred Flame. So I'm going to do a DC 15 Dexterity saving throw,
Ooh, we're
which
real
I'm
bad at
assuming
these.
cubes are great at.
Oh, -2. Holy crap. -2 on the dex save.
So that's going to be 8 radiant damage to the cube.
Fortunately, Gelatinous Cube does not have any sort of damage transference. You could light the cube on fire and Victor will be fine.
And then, Victor, are you willing to be pushed?
Yes, I am.
I'm going to, as a bonus action, telekinetically push Victor back 5 feet.
And so, Victor, you come prone out of the cube as you were shoved forward through it, and you just are slopped onto the ground. You gasp for air, and you have this thin, acidic film covering your skin and clothes.
Gonna take a step back and let Orson do his thing. That's the end of Ekon's turn. We got Genie with Grey Token on deck.
Okay.
10, 15. Okay. I'm going to electrocute this guy with my Shocking Grasp.
Fair.
That is a 12 to hit.
A 12 does hit.
Okay. Awesome.
My familiar typically is on Victor's shoulder. Is my familiar still in the cube? Like, I think it just didn't get loaded in.
You know, let's worry about that later.
Okay.
What's funny is I think
wow.
I already applied the acid damage to Edmont.
Oh, okay.
Maximum
Edmont doesn't have
damage.
my familiar on his shoulder.
Right.
I don't think I'll ever roll 3 8s like this ever again. 24 lightning damage.
Okay. That's a decent amount. And I mean, when you send a wave of electricity through this thing, for a moment you can see the entire structure of it stretching from floor to ceiling and from wall to wall. More of a gelatinous rectangle than a perfect cube, because the hallway's a little taller than it is wide.
In his evolution, we don't know.
And then I guess I'll just pulse this, since technically we can get up to 13 temp hit points now, because I took the ASI. So if you have less than 7, you have 7 temp hit points. Everyone except Victor.
We've got Grey Token with Red Token on deck.
Okay. I need
Wait, there's a
Orson to make a dexterity saving throw.
Sure. Let me see what his dexterity saving throw modifier is. It's +6. Okay.
That's pretty good.
15.
15. Move Orson to any adjacent square away from that door.
Here's fine.
There are disgusting slurping and slurping sounds as the invisible mass pushes its way through the open doorway. Orson instinctively swivels to his left, putting his back to the wall. And for a moment, as the thing slides through the door, you can see your light shimmering and refracting within it. But after the thing stops moving and comes to a rest, it becomes invisible once again.
Okay.
Who's next?
Is that the end of Grey Cube?
That's it.
Or Grey Token? We got Red Token with Orson on deck.
Oh, there is no red token. I don't know why there's a red token on the board.
Orson with Victor on deck.
Orson. Okay. First spear strike. That is a 27.
That'll hit.
6 points.
Okay.
Second spear strike. 21.
Also will hit.
9 points.
And that's enough. As the spear comes down a second time, Orson and Genie and Ekon, you feel something slosh against the fronts of your boots as some kind of force as the thing melts away. And after a few moments, the whole floor and the bottoms of the walls in the area has the sticky residue across it.
Aw, my boots.
Victor, what the hell was that?
You out of initiative?
Yep,
Can
that
I
was
move?
it.
Victor, you okay?
No, I'm disgusting. Look at this.
You're not hurt. Get up.
Remind me never to chase after Edmond again. Where did he go anyway?
I'm sure he's fine.
We don't acknowledge that. Shush.
Would you like me to open the door now, while with everyone else carefully standing away from it?
Yes, please.
I don't.
And I'll telekinetically open the door.
Okay. Bear with me just one moment.
Yep.
Can you just like? I have a question
Yeah.
for Mage about, but for Ekon about Mage Hand because I don't want to look it up. Like,
Yeah.
you could just walk with that out. You don't have to like be standing
It takes
here.
a bonus action to move it, so usually I just unsummon it and use my action again because it doesn't move very quickly.
Right, but we're not okay. So if we
I usually
give,
just sorry if it ever becomes clear, I'll go into the action economy of it. But outside of combat, I'm not gonna say I move the mage hand. Yeah, because I'd have to actually track where it is. So outside of combat, I don't do that. I hope you're okay with that, Brick.
Yeah, that's fine. I also don't want to track where your mage hand is.
well,
Yeah.
unless we're doing
Like
stupid
in combat,
shenanigans with
it matters because it takes actions to do things. But
right. Well,
Opening the
I was-
door and looking beyond. The next room doesn't have any ornaments in it. It looks like it's just a small gathering area, or a juncture between hallways leading to more important places. You see a door up to the north, and another one here on the eastern wall. The hallway in front of you continues forward a considerable distance.
Enter familiar first.
You see anything?
Yeah, you see what I just described.
Okay.
Doesn't get stuck in a giant cube.
No, not so far. I'll let you
No,
know if
I
anybody
would-
gets stuck in a cube.
Let me check out this north door first.
Okay.
Can we actively look to see if there's more invisible cubes anywhere?
Where are you looking?
I mean, these narrow hallways where one we already saw. Like, if there's another one hanging out in this hallway, I feel like we would look for that.
Not from your position, no.
Okay.
what does
so we do not see the invisible cube, is what you're saying.
Correct.
yeah? What does 30 feet
Okay.
of I got 30 feet of light on me? Does it? How far
You can
down?
look
it
to the
is?
end of the hallway here.
I'm gonna shoot a firebolt to the end of the hallway.
Okay, roll initiative.
All right, so I'm on 11,
Oh, hey, I got a good one.
and Orson is on
Wasting those good gamblers' fallacies.
5.
Wait, does Firebolt have to target a creature, or can it target an object?
You can target an object.
What are you targeting with it then?
The end of the. I was targeting the
The door.
door at the end of the hall. Yeah,
Man, that door didn't do nothing to you.
I mean,
Ekon, Victor, and Evie. You see the genie is preparing to fling cantrips down the hallway. If any of you want to do anything on your turn, speak now or dodge.
Hey, Genie,
Dodge.
that's a great idea. Dodge.
Dodging?
I can't grant advantage against a creature I can't see, so I'll dodge.
Okay. Yeah, genie, roll to hit.
all right. That is a 13.
A 13.
Yeah. Me, it's
The range on
13,
Firebolt's 60 feet. Is that correct?
120.
120. 5th edition players are broken, man. What were they thinking about this game balance? That's what I want to know.
Wait till you hear about a longbow.
So your expectation will be that you fling the firebolt down the hallway and it explodes against the door at the end. Firebolt's not really a strong enough spell to like blow a door off of its hinges. But what you see instead is the firebolt goes about halfway down the hallway and then it sizzles out as though you'd thrown it into a body of water. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. 21 fire damage.
So you get 21 damage off of your infinite range machine gun that you can cast for free every round. 5th edition's broken, man.
Well, it's a class. Part of it is a class feature, so I get 2d10 plus an additional d8 for my class feature.
Mm-hmm.
Her cantrip does 4 damage less on average than my second level spell slot.
Crazy. Genie, moving or staying put?
Jeannie's gonna say another cube, and she's gonna step to the side here.
Okay.
And the reason I know that math is Evie, please give her advantage over me any chance you get.
Who's next?
Okay.
After Genie, we've got Orson with Gray token on deck.
Got about halfway, so
Yeah, do we know where it is?
Don't know exactly where it is. Orson can use his action to make a perception check to determine the exact square that Genie's firebolt fizzled out in.
Is he good at that?
No.
Well, the alternative action is for him to run down the hall
Well,
blindly.
then he'll get stuck in the cube. He's not Victor.
So basically, Genie would have said about halfway down. So I guess Orson's going to eyeball it. 5, 10. So we're gonna start here. 4, 5. We're gonna step here,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna attack this square.
All right. Roll the
Yep.
hit.
Playing to Orson's intelligence, I see.
22.
22. Yeah. Roll damage. That is the correct square.
11
Oh.
points.
11 points.
Yep.
Okay.
And then second hit is a natural 1, and then the butt is a 28 to hit.
28 will hit.
Where'd my D4 go?
Did you step on it? Is it in your foot?
No, I did that yesterday though. That is 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
So Orson, his strikes are not exactly as sure as you guys are used to seeing him because he has to step forward gingerly but quickly and try to guess. So he's kind of slashing at the very end of his effective range. But he does feel slashing through material at that point.
Let's see. He started in this square, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He is going to he's I don't feel like he can get any meaningful distance away from this thing, so he's just gonna stay here.
Okay.
Just remember that Ekon can move people too.
Right.
Is that it for Orson?
That is it for Orson.
So we've got Gray Token with Ekon on deck.
Yeah, Orson can make me another dexterity saving throw.
Orson could make a dexterity saving throw. That is a 18.
18. Orson has to move.
Back? Oh, okay, I gotcha. You just bounce off of it?
Actually, the way this is worded, let me read this very specifically.
Right. I was assuming he was just gonna have to make like however many like movement.
He might have to make multiple saves.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming was gonna have to happen.
Yeah, you know what? He's going to have to make 3 saving throws. He needs to make 2 more. The first one gets
All right.
into this square.
All right. Let's see. That's a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
Orson takes 8 points of acid damage.
No.
And the rest of you watch as he's just lifted up off the floor, suspended in midair, with his spear kind of floating in the space in front of him. And then some unseen force moves him an additional few feet down the hall towards the rest of you. Who's
Okay.
next?
Well, you still haven't got through his 10 hit points, so he's fine.
After Grey Cube, it's Ekon, who, having looked at my spell list, I can't actually can't actually Sacred Flame this thing because I can't see it. So sorry about doing that wrong last time. What I will do is, as a bonus action, does Orson consent to being pushed 5 feet?
Yeah.
I think Orson specifically. I don't have to ask, right? And then I will
So
cast
he'll
Sacred
be
Flame.
prone on that square behind
Okay.
him. Yeah.
And then I will because I'll aim a little high, and I'm going to throw 3 Scorching Rays into that square.
All right.
Sure you want to burn
I
a
don't-
scorching ray on this thing?
I don't have any other spells that use attack rolls, and all my non-attack rolls require me to see the target.
No.
We could do Fireball. You want to do Fireball?
Uh,
So that is a... One second, I think it's +7.
I think a fireball would kill us all.
If you set off a fireball in this room, Orson would be protected from it because he would have total cover on the other side of the cube.
I don't think the rest of us would.
It's a 22 19, and a 18.
All three of those hit.
Yep.
People talk about how good Fireball is, and it is. Does a lot of damage. It's like more damage on average, I think, than any other.
Go ahead and take 18 fire damage.
Okay.
Also, I have basically no combat spells prepared because we weren't planning the dungeon today, so...
And it's Ekon
This is
moving or
just-
staying put?
let's see, I took a bonus. Well, with him on the other side of the cube, I think Ekon's fine where he is. We've got Evie with Eugenia on deck.
Evie, fix it.
I need to read the description of my help thing to know if I can actually
You,
grant
no,
advantage.
Victor's going, not Evie. Let's get me.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Sorry, you're the same color.
They are.
No, we're not.
No, they're-
It's okay.
Tokens are both bluish.
Are you saying all rogues look like?
Saying you're both a shade of blue, and I was looking at the initiative trackers pretty zoomed out to get the whole thing in my screen.
I used the eyedropper tool on an actual screenshot from Tabletop Simulation. Blame them, not me. I didn't pick the colors.
Victor is going to try and hit this thing with a psionic. Actually, the first thing he's going to do is make the pretty fire.
Okay.
And then
Bonus
he's
action
gonna...
to make your knives do fire damage?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. And then we'll throw a dagger.
Okay.
Does a 20-something hit?
Yes.
25?
Gotta look up and see if, because I don't know this, I gotta look up and see if Flash of Genius works on saving throws.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it did, but I'm just double checking.
That's kind of why it's good.
So that is 19 fire damage. It would take 38 if it becomes vulnerable.
And that's enough. And once again, there's the strange melting and sizzling sounds as this unseen thing melts into liquid across the floor, splashing up, mostly soaking up underneath Orson's armor and clothes as he's laying prone on the ground.
Oh, Brickroad, just so you know, because the next, so we had 30 minutes after the last combat, so my turrets only last for an hour, so I had 30 minutes at the start of the, so let me know when the turret runs out.
Yeah, you guys fought all these boneless, then you spent about 30 minutes or so going through all these cells. I'll say you have a half hour on anything like that still left.
Right, it's just because when we went through the mine, like we went through like the entire mine like 4 times, and then it was like, oh yeah, you've been in here for 2 hours, and I'm like, oh well, apparently we didn't have my turret for that. But
Victor is going to help Orson up.
Okay.
ability check and saving throw.
Good job, Genie. You found a cube.
Everybody, come in for a family huddle. Come in for a family huddle.
So I am not convinced that there's not going to be another cube like 10 feet past that one.
Let's check the door north of us first, and then we'll go.
All right.
Check that.
6.
I'm
on.
going to... Oh.
Family huddle until I get a
Yeah.
8. All right.
This is where
After
your turret time is going.
yeah. Well, it's like every 6 seconds I can pulse it, so it's like
Yeah.
that was 10 pulses. So like after a minute, everybody gets 13 temp hit points, and your familiars.
Yep. I'm going to move to here, and does everyone want to step back while I open that door to our north?
Sure, why not?
And I will telekinetically open that door.
Okay. And you're doing that from back here?
Yeah.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll initiative.
A lot of fights today.
If only you had a feature that said every time you roll initiative.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an old school dungeon.
Orson is on 19.
Okay.
Somebody will put him there. And I am on 10.
Do we have anything
Maybe.
before 20?
All right. So Ekon is preparing to open this door. Victor is surprised. Orson is surprised. And Genie is surprised. So y'all are focusing on the door, waiting for Ekon to throw it open, revealing the horribleness beyond. Evie.
Uh-huh.
You stood next to the mimic.
I have a 20 to hit.
That will hit.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ow.
And you are grappled,
Ow.
which means I get advantage on the bite.
Oh, no.
It's an 11 to hit.
And I don't see this, so I can't uncanny dodge it.
Less Uncanny Dodge says you can't do anything about it when you're surprised, because it's the door attacking you, the door mimic that you're standing right next to.
Okay, well, I think as long as it's an attack from a source I can see, I can use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to cut that 11 in half.
No,
No, it
the
was 11 to
11
hit.
was a to hit roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 11 did not hit.
No, the 11 does not hit. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, as the
Okay.
door mimic next to you lashes out with one of its pseudopods, grabbing you across your chest, dragging you in. The door grows teeth and tries to chomp down on you. You've already seen this trick once before.
This place sucks.
So you are grappled by the door.
Uh-huh.
That's going to bring us to Evie, who is no longer surprised now. Ekon. Ekon is surprised, but I will still let you use your action to open the door to 3 if you want, since you were preparing to do that anyway.
I'll just pop the mage hand into existence, but not open the door.
Okay, that brings us back to the top with Victor.
So wait, I'm no longer surprised, but I don't get an action?
Surprise gets rid of your action until your initiative has come up. You can't take reactions.
Correct. So on your
So
turn,
now you
you
can
don't
take
get
reactions.
you don't get an action, but you could take a reaction if there were still monsters in the initiative behind you.
Yeah.
It's back to
God
the top
damn
of
it,
the
Genie,
board with
don't
Victor,
stand next to the doors.
said the guy who was just in the cube.
So I guess we're gonna steady aim to make sure I can actually hit this door. Can I see the door from where I'm at?
Oh yes, all 5 of you can.
Okay. So we'll steady aim to make sure we get advantage on the door, and then we will throw a psionic dagger at it.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
That's gonna be 20 points of psionic damage.
Okay. And these are psychic knives, like these aren't physical weapons, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And are you moving or staying put?
He's steady aim, so he's gonna stay put.
Oh, you cannot move. Who's next?
Got Orson with Genie on deck.
Orson.
If he can't get to the door to attack it, he should try and free her.
That's what he's going to try and do.
Okay, it's going to be a strength athletics check.
He's good at these. It's fine. It's fine. That is a very large. It's 19 plus his athletics, which is. That would be 23 plus 3, 7, 26.
Okay. Are you going to... Pulling Evie free from the grapple, are you going to leave her there in that square, or are you going to move her to this adjacent square?
Extra
Is-
room.
Then yeah, he has no difficulty snapping her out of the door's pseudopod limbs.
And the door is still in this square, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, Orson is going to stay right here. It's fine.
Yeah, we've got Genie with door on deck.
All right. Genie is going to move to this square.
Okay. Door's going to take its reaction. I have a 19 to hit Genie.
Uh,
Go ahead and roll that again at disadvantage if it can be blinded.
It can be blinded.
Okay.
That turns it into a 7.
okay. So Genie takes a step back, and then she is going to firebolt. the door. Does a 15 hit?
15 does hit.
All right, pleased to be enjoying. Only 10 fire damage.
Only 10. What happened to the awesome firebolts you had a minute ago?
Well, I wasn't aiming at anything in specific. Like, we weren't in combat. So, like, when we're
You had time to do the math.
Moving or staying put?
staying put.
All right, who's next?
After Genie, we've got Red Token with Eevee on deck.
Okay. As the formless creature, all pseudopods and gnashing teeth, pulls itself free from the blank wall, slides forward, and is going to try to recapture its prey.
Why does everything want to eat me?
Because Orson can't be hit.
Does Orson have anything to say about that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does. Does
He's not leaving Orson's threat range, but he did
He
Entering
entered.
it.
He entered it.
Correct.
So that is a 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Please enjoy a 9 points of damage.
And the thing is bloodied. Eevee.
Uh-huh.
I have a 23 to hit.
Oh, that'll definitely hit.
Okay. So we're going to start with 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Rude.
And you are grappled by the creature once again.
Mm-hmm.
Grants it advantage on its bite. Only a 12, even with the advantage on the bite.
No, that does not hit.
So the thing is hungry, but apparently it's a sloppy eater and can't get its food into its mouth properly. Who's next?
We've got Eevee with Ekon on deck.
Hey, Eevee's going to bonus action apply her Hunter's Mark to this door.
Mm-hmm.
And then she is going to stab it.
Very
Stab it good.
I mean, its current state, it's much less door-like than it was a moment ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well now the thing, it's just like John Carpenter's The Thing at this point, I'm imagining.
It's like a big blob of sentient Play-Doh with teeth.
Undulating flesh.
Undulating
Okay,
is a great word, yes.
Okay, she got a 26 to hit.
That'll hit.
Uh-huh. She does... See if I can roll well this time. That's not bad. 19 points of magical piercing damage.
And that's enough. The thing's form loses its rigidity, and you feel the tightness it had wrapped around you a moment ago go slack.
Gross.
Is there anything behind where it was?
Just a solid wall.
So there's no
Alright.
actual door there?
Just a solid wall.
Okay. So can we agree nobody walks blindly down the hallway and nobody stands idly against a door?
Things that Genie has learned. You shoot a firebolt down every hall. You shoot a firebolt into every door.
Do these rules, like, will they persist when she gets back home? Like, she
No,
gets up in the middle of the night to go to the
it's a
bathroom
case-
and...
The case-by-case basis. Not
That
until
depends.
mimics and gelatinous cubes start appearing in our house.
I think that depends on how much PTSD you have after this dungeon.
Genie, if you want to do the honors in that door, then.
First of all, I'm going to pulse my turret.
That
Okay.
did not act... Despite getting hit twice, it did not get through my temporary hit points.
Yep. One pulse, got 13 temp hit points. And then I'm going to shoot the door.
And your firebolt explodes against the door, leaving a scorch mark.
All right.
All right.
Genie's
Then I will
gonna-
open it with my mage hand.
Okay. Looking into the room beyond, there's a statue in an alcove in the north end of the room. A very worn and very, very old statue, to the point where individual features are difficult to make out because it's just been smoothed over by some natural process. But you can tell that the statue depicts a robed person with a badly hunched back.
So you guys think if I throw a knife at it, it'll come to life?
I don't know. You could try.
Are we
I
ready?
mean, a psionic knife wouldn't damage it if it's not
That's
a
what
thing,
that's
right?
what I'm thinking. That's exactly why I want to do it.
I mean, this dungeon is teaching us that we just have to shoot everything that looks even vaguely suspicious.
This is why we need a warlock in the party, because you can only target creatures with. I'm just joking.
So Victor will throw a psionic knife at the statue.
Okay. And there's the sound of the psionic knife hitting the stone ineffectually.
And nothing gets hit on the way. Okay. He will tentatively and stupidly step foot into the room.
Okay.
Can he check for traps before he steps on this stair?
Do you have a light source?
Now, he's still in the bright light from my diamond.
Yeah, but you're standing
20 feet off
like
that.
15 feet behind him.
I can stand behind him. I got 30. I got 30 feet. One.
I have a light here. Yeah,
He's got 30 feet behind him.
Okay,
Victor
so
would like to try and make sure he doesn't like fall into anything or get shot with poison arrows or any other misadventures.
what are you checking for? Are you checking along the floors, the walls?
He's checking along the floor in front of him.
Okay. Well, the floor in front of you looks like it's made out of stone. You kind of
Okay.
tentatively tap your boot to it. What is your passive perception?
It's like 16 or 17.
Which is it, 16 or 17?
16.
It's 16, okay. What's next?
Who had the? I think Edmont actually had. Damn it. Edmund had
Edmont?
it up, didn't he? He had the comprehend languages up.
Oh, well,
Well, we don't currently have that.
All right, does the square in front of him look safe to stand on?
looks just like the square you're standing on.
Bring the light in here.
The light's right at your back. Genie's holding a light.
Yeah, Genie, come inside so it lights up the whole room.
It already lights up the whole room.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab a stone or something, coin, fly my familiar over, and give you a coin with the light spell on it.
Is there any writing in the room?
At the base of the statue, it's sitting on... At first you thought it was like a stone dais raised slightly out of the ground, but getting closer and having this illuminated coin brightly illuminating the back of the room, you notice that it's not a stone dais. In fact, it looks like it's made out of the same frozen material that was keeping all of the iron bars in place in the crypt where you entered. On the front face of the dais, at about your boot level, you do see a metal plaque set into it with glyphs on it. The same sorts of glyphs that you saw on the archway, but you cannot read them. They're an archaic form of Darkanese you're not familiar with. Also, being this close to the statue, you can see that it has no hands.
We got something here.
I mean, I can spend 10 minutes to... Genie or I could either spend 10 minutes to get comprehend languages up.
Okay.
We're spending 10 minutes.
Evie, watch for cubes.
Who's casting the ritual? Genie?
Yeah, I can do it.
Is anyone else doing anything during this 10 minutes?
Watching to make sure everything comes in the back.
Ekon's gonna just do a Arcana to detect magic in this room.
Nothing overtly magical. Although, give me an Arcana check.
Got it.
Can we assist?
That is
no.
an Arcana of 18.
You don't detect any magic in the room as such. However, something about the statue stands out to you. And it's... So the thing is hunched forward. He's wearing these robes. And the traces of Arcanum that you sense here, there was something very magical about this statue that is no longer present. Looking at the thing's posture, a humanoid man wearing a robe, if the statue were whole, your money would be on he depicted leaning forward, resting his weight on a staff.
Okay.
But the hands have been broken away. Somebody who's not Ekon and not Genie, give me a history check, please.
I can do that.
I have history.
But yours might be better than mine. What's your history look like?
Mine's intelligence with a +3.
Oh, mine is intelligence with...
Plus the die.
What's the die?
Yeah, he's got that psychic die.
Yeah, mine's only +2, so maybe you should do it.
That would be a 15.
15? So, Victor, you guys are discussing this statue as Genie is going through the motions of her ritual in order to be able to read the plaque. And you've seen a lot of statues. You've been to a lot of museums. You've seen a lot of vanity projects, especially Brennanine being as steeped in old religion as it was. If you're going to make a statue out of somebody and your intent is to venerate or acknowledge something about them that you respect, you do not depict them as a weary hunchback.
Maybe this was a bad guy. Some sort of leader that everyone hated.
Well, we need to know what it says, and then that'll give us a hint. Because the previous inscription that we found mentioned he who is king, which the obvious answer to that would be Aslan. But this could be so old that it was actually before him.
Well, remember the first one said, from the sunless world above to the icy toil below, to sleep amongst our fathers, far now from the gaze of he who is king. So maybe this is who it was talking about. That looks like it was icy, like the same stuff that was in the other rooms.
The statue itself is stone, but it sits upon a circular dais in the floor. The dais looks like it's made of the same icy material that was keeping the iron bars frozen. And then set into the front of that material is the metal plaque that Genie is going to translate once her ritual is done.
Guys, I'm going to be stupid and go to it.
Getting that close to the statue, you think you can see a slit in the wall behind it in the alcove. There's not really a way for you to get around the statue. You'd have to, in its current state. Give me an investigation check. This will be the last check before Genie's ritual goes off, as 10 minutes will have elapsed.
Does a 21 work?
So the slit in the wall behind the alcove looks very narrow, but not so narrow that you couldn't squeeze into it. The problem is physically reaching it, you'd have to move through this statue, and you can't.
Maybe we just move the
Looking
statue.
at the dais, if you could deal with the ice somehow, this frozen material that it sits on, you think that the stone of the statue and the stone of the floor were meant to be rotated apart from one another, moving
Genie,
the
melt
statue
it.
to one side. Genie,
Uh-huh.
you cast Comprehend Languages.
Yes. I know. All knowledge is mine for the taking.
Reading the plaque, it names the figure as Benedict, Warden of the Southern Bank.
Benedict, Warden of the Southern Bank. Before we start going through that, let's start Victor, before we start melting the ice, I think we should test our boundaries in the other directions.
Okay. I guess we'll throw another knife down this corridor.
Okay. What's the effective range on your knife?
60 feet.
Then yeah, you can throw it all the way, and you can hear the echo of it impact against the door at the far end.
No cubes, but there are 2 doors I'm gonna want to watch out for. Do I have to get adjacent to a door to hit it with something?
You'd have to get... Well, the doors on the sides here, yeah, because they're set into the wall.
We got a familiar we want to sit next to the doors to make sure they're not
I
menaced?
think we should do the hand method, the spectral hand
Hands?
method.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So let's go ahead and try and open this one with Mage Hand.
And the door opens. Looking into the room to the south.
This doorway does not actually exist.
You're looking into a badly destroyed barracks. So shards of sleeping pallets, weapon racks, foot lockers, other furniture are just strewn haphazardly about the northern end of the room. The southern wall... Let me get a color here. So about something like this. The southern wall is completely iced over. The ice is milky and cracked, but it's not weeping. And it's cold down here, but it's not so cold that blocks of ice should be... wouldn't weep, especially considering you guys are walking around. You're introducing body heat into the dungeon. You're throwing fire bolts at absolutely everything. The ice, however, in the places where where it offers some transparency, you see shapes, unmoving. And despite Solitayre trying to describe my dungeon for me, there is a door on the western wall.
Victor will pull the door shut slowly and turn to Ekon. You got a fireball?
Yeah, but not a lot. Like, got one on tap.
There's a... I mean, you can look, but there's an icy wall with a lot of stuff frozen inside. You know it's going to come to life.
Flaming sphere would be a little bit more reasonable.
We could try that.
Or we could just, put a torch next to it.
We could just... Well, if we put a torch, it might grab it.
I feel like a torch would take a long time.
My thinking is I want to make sure we kill the stuff inside the ice before it kills
I mean,
us.
do we know that this... We haven't run into anything here that's like... We haven't run into anything intelligent here yet that we actually have reason to kill.
We've
All
run
the
into
stuff that stuff that we've fought is either been some weird undead, or what was that? I mean, those pseudopod things don't seem that intelligent.
Yeah, so I mean, Victor will open the door again so Ekon can see inside.
Yeah.
You think anything in there is going to be intelligent?
I mean, are these humanoid shapes? Or sorry, I thought maybe I misunderstood.
The ice is cracked and milky, so it's difficult to determine the shapes. You'd have to get closer and do a more thorough inspection. Just
Okay.
at a glance, just dark shapes in the lightly colored ice.
Let me let me try something. Two things I want to do, because there's a door over there that's suspicious.
It either leads to some sort of dimensional space or it's a fake door.
Right. So I'm going to firebolt the door.
Roll initiative.
Yeah. Orson's on 19 and 18. Jeannie's on 9.
So, Jeannie, you step in the doorway and turn to the side and go to fire a firebolt at the door. The door was watching and waiting for somebody to come in so it could have a meal. Is going to close the distance on you. Oh, what am I doing? What's this? No,
I
go
don't
away.
see... Is there a token that should be moving here? There we go.
Because the door beats everybody in initiative. Look at that. Make sure that he can actually move that far. Just barely, but yes. All right, Jeannie.
Yep.
I'm going to give my door some hit points, and then it's going to try to kill you. It's going to be an 11 to hit.
No.
How about a 23 to hit?